On a quiet afternoon in Pohang, South Korea, tragedy struck when a state-of-the-art P-3C Orion patrol aircraft, nicknamed the Submarine Hunter, suddenly crashed just 6 minutes after takeoff. At 1:49 p.m., the powerful engine roared as the plane lifted off from the naval base in Namgu, filled with 4 brave crew members embarking on what was supposed to be a routine training flight. But within moments, the unexpected happened. A deafening explosion shattered the calm, followed by thick black smoke rising ominously over the nearby hills. Witnesses recalled the chilling sight and sound, describing a scene more fitting for an action movie than reality. What began as a routine exercise turned into a heart-wrenching disaster, leaving families, comrades, and the nation in shock and sorrow. The fate of those on board hung in the balance as emergency responders rushed to the rugged crash site, battling time and terrain. This tragic moment reminds us of the inherent risks faced by those who serve to protect our seas and skies, turning ordinary men into heroes whose sacrifices will not be forgotten. Just 6 minutes after the dramatic crash of the P-3C Orion off the coast of Pohang, the focus quickly shifted from the terrifying accident to the lives of the 4 brave crew members aboard that ill-fated flight. The aircraft was not just a machine. It carried 4 dedicated souls, 2 officers and 2 non-commissioned officers, who were more than just pilots and technicians. They were seasoned professionals, entrusted with the vital mission of protecting South Korea's waters from lurking threats beneath the surface. As the plane roared into the sky at 1:49 p.m., their hearts were set on completing a routine training exercise, practicing takeoffs and landings that they had performed countless times before. But fate intervened cruelly. The news of the crash sent shockwaves through the military community and beyond. Families, friends, and colleagues waited anxiously for any word about the crew's fate. Time seemed to freeze as emergency crews raced toward the mountainous crash site where smoke still billowed into the sky. Witnesses recounted hearing a sudden, thunderous explosion that shattered the peaceful afternoon, an explosion that marked the tragic end of the crew's flight. Each member's life story, filled with dedication, sacrifice, and unspoken dreams, flashed through the minds of those who knew them and the wider public following the tragedy. The military quickly confirmed that the 4 on board were all trained members of the South Korean Navy, tasked with mastering complex anti-submarine warfare maneuvers aboard the Sea Hunter P-3C Orion. These men faced daily risks in their line of duty, yet no one could have predicted that a routine training flight would turn fatal so suddenly. When news came that at least 3 crew members had lost their lives, grief overwhelmed the naval forces and the nation. The identification process was painstaking, with 2 fatalities confirmed and 2 others still under verification, leaving families in agonizing uncertainty. This heartbreaking incident put a human face on the disaster reported earlier, the crash that stunned the region and shattered the silence of a routine day. Beyond the technical investigation into the cause of the crash, the focus remained on the 4 men who had boarded that plane, each carrying hopes for the future and the weight of responsibility to their country. Their courage and commitment became a solemn reminder of the dangers faced by military personnel, even during training missions designed to prepare them for defense and safety. As rescue teams battled smoke and flames and investigators combed through wreckage, the world watched in solemn respect. The story of these 4 crew members, their dedication cut short in the mountains near Pohang, resonated deeply with anyone who understands the sacrifices made by those who serve. It was more than a tragic accident. It was a moment of shared sorrow, a call to remember the human cost behind every headline, and a testament to the bravery of those who fly into the unknown to protect others. Just 6 minutes after the fiery crash of the P-3C Orion aircraft off the coast of Pohang, attention was focused on the 4 crew members aboard the aircraft. They were not just a machine, but a brave team of 2 commissioned officers and 2 enlisted men, proud members of the Republic of Korea Navy. They operated the state-of-the-art submarine killer P-3C every day to face underwater threats and to protect the country. At 1:49 p.m., when they took off for a training flight, they believed that it would be a normal flight. However, fate cruelly and suddenly cut that routine short. The report of the accident came as a great shock to military personnel and citizens. Families and friends prayed for their safety as soon as possible, and rescue teams rushed to the accident site in the smoke-filled mountain area. An eyewitness said, "A sudden explosion tore apart a quiet afternoon, and the impact was like a scene from a movie. The lives, efforts, and dreams of each crew member weighed heavily on the hearts of those involved." The Arak Navy said all four were seasoned professionals who risked their lives every day in their duties. No one could have imagined that a training flight would suddenly turn into a tragedy. At least 3 people were reported dead, and grief spread across the country. 2 deaths have been confirmed, and the identification of the remaining 2 is ongoing, leaving families in a state of anxiety. This accident is not just the crash of an aircraft, but the story of the 4 crew members who risked their lives there, and their courage and dedication have been remembered once again. As rescue teams battled smoke and flames, the public expressed deep condolences. This tragedy symbolized the dangers that military personnel face even in their daily training, and made us keenly aware of the value of life and the importance of what we must protect. The scene of the P-3C Orion plane's sudden crash during training spread to a mountainous area near Pohang in southeastern South Korea. The plane was in flames, black smoke rose, and the surrounding area was a horrific scene of charred trees and debris. Witnesses said they felt heart-wrenching when they saw the large pillar of fire rising along with the sound of an explosion. The site was in rugged terrain, making rescue efforts extremely difficult, but about 40 firefighters and ambulances responded quickly with 17 vehicles. They continued to search for survivors while putting out the fire, but the damage to the plane was so severe that it was confirmed at the scene that 3 of the 4 crew members had lost their lives. The injured could not be rescued, and sadness and despair enveloped the scene. The family and friends were still not informed of the details of the situation, and a time of anxiety and prayer continued. Military authorities immediately organized a special investigation team to investigate the cause of the accident, but the cause remains unknown at this time. This tragedy was the first serious accident involving a P-3C aircraft for the ROK Navy, and the loss of the aircraft that they had operated with pride for many years came as a great shock. In particular, this aircraft was known as a submarine killer and was essential to maritime security with its precise surveillance capabilities and high combat power. Therefore, this accident caused great sadness, not only within the military, but also among the public, and calls for strengthening safety measures were raised. On the other hand, the image of the firefighters and naval personnel who bravely engaged in rescue operations during the accident was deeply etched in the hearts of many people. They risked their lives to carry out their mission in the midst of intense smoke and flames, without regard for the danger, and worked hard to save the remaining lives. This accident taught us once again the importance of life, human bonds, and above all, the importance of safety and preparation. To ensure that this sad event is not repeated in the future, relevant agencies are working hard to identify the cause and strengthen measures. And with the preciousness of the lives lost in our hearts, the entire country is united in pledging to protect the safety of the skies and seas. At the scene of the crash, firefighters and rescue teams worked hard to extinguish the fire and carry out rescue operations. About 40 firefighters and 17 fire engines braved the fire and smoke in dangerous mountainous areas, continuing to search for survivors with a slim chance. However, working in the intense flames was not easy, and hope for rescue gradually faded. The tension at the scene reached an extreme, and everyone prayed for the situation to improve with a prayerful feeling. At the same time, the Navy quickly set up a special investigation committee and put all its efforts into uncovering the truth of the accident. The aircraft debris and flight data were analyzed, and testimonies were collected, and those involved worked day and night to find out what caused this tragedy. Until the cause of the accident was determined, there was a lot of speculation and anxiety, and the families and people of the country watched the progress of the investigation in a state of anxiety. Upon receiving this sad news, South Korean President Lee Kwan immediately received a detailed report from the Minister of Defense. He ordered the rescue of the victims and minimizing the impact on the environment as the top priority, along with swift assistance to the accident site. The nation's top leader showed deep concern for the accident and showed his intention to do everything he could to deal with it, which aroused a sense of relief and sympathy among the people. This accident was the first serious accident of the P-3C submarine killer aircraft, the pride of the South Korean Navy, and cast a dark shadow on its history. Although the loss of one of the 16 aircraft will inevitably have a temporary impact on the military's fighting power, those involved are making every effort to re-examine safety and strengthen maintenance of the aircraft. Navy officials expressed their respect for the crew members who lost their lives and renewed their determination to prevent recurrence. On the other hand, in response to this tragedy, the public and the media have once again focused on the importance of safety management in military training. While rigorous daily training protects the country's security, there have been growing calls to also pay attention to the risks that lurk there. In order not to waste the precious lives of the victims, a thorough safety culture and strengthened risk management are required. Thus, the response after the accident was swift and sincere, and the entire country continues to make efforts, from rescue operations and investigations to measures to prevent recurrence. Our efforts to build a safer future for the 4 brave crew members who lost their lives will never stop. This tragedy caused serious repercussions as the first serious accident in the operation of the P-3C Orion aircraft, the pride of the Korean Navy. This aircraft, known as the submarine killer, has supported Korea's maritime defense for many years with its excellent anti-submarine capabilities. The first 8 aircraft were introduced in 1995, and with subsequent upgrades, the fleet was expanded to 16 aircraft and was trusted as an essential force in ensuring the safety of the surrounding sea areas. However, this crash has had a greater impact on the Navy than just the loss of an aircraft. In response to this tragedy, military personnel and the public have once again realized the importance of safety measures. Even in military training, which is dangerous on a daily basis, protecting the lives of crew members should be given top priority, and thorough safety management and a review of the training system are required in the future. In particular, the operation of the P-3C requires advanced technology and precise operation, so it is urgent to introduce the latest systems to prevent human error and to innovate training methods. This accident also had a major impact on the public's defense consciousness. Many people are once again expressing their gratitude for the dedication of the Self-Defense Forces members who risk their lives every day to protect the country's security. At the same time, deep condolences for the victims are spreading, and their brave actions and spirit of service are being praised. In order to never forget this tragedy and never repeat the same mistake, the entire country is reaffirming its determination to work together to strengthen defense capabilities and foster a culture of safety. Furthermore, investigations and reports after the accident were conducted carefully and thoroughly, and many experts are involved in clarifying the cause of the accident and formulating measures to prevent recurrence. By disclosing information with transparency, we are also working to restore the trust of the people. The Navy is also moving forward with plans to replace the aircraft lost in the accident and to update its equipment, and will continue to prepare to continue to protect the peace and security of the region. Thus, the P-3C Orion crash was a painful event for South Korea's security, but it also marked an important turning point that encouraged the strengthening of the defense system and the improvement of safety awareness. With the precious lives of the crew members who were sacrificed in our hearts, South Korea will build a safer and stronger defense force for the future. This tragic crash of the P-3C Orion aircraft shocked not only the Korean people, but also the international community. In particular, the bravery of the firefighters and naval personnel who participated in the rescue operation is deeply etched in the hearts of many people. At the scene engulfed in intense flames and smoke, they performed their duties without a moment's hesitation and worked hard to save as many lives as possible. Their heroic appearance was a strong reminder of the preciousness of life, along with respect for the victims. On the day of the accident, the area around the scene was filled with confusion and sadness, but the quick response of the rescue team prevented further damage. Fire engines and ambulances arrived one after another and did their best to transport the injured and put out the fire. In such a tense situation, the rescue team members continued their rescue operations without regard for the danger, running through the rugged mountainous terrain. It is an undeniable fact that many precious lives were saved thanks to their dedicated efforts. This accident also prompted a re-examination of the safety management system of the Korean military. The military has begun reviewing safety standards and improving training methods, and is taking all possible measures to ensure that a similar accident never happens again. In particular, they are focusing on introducing the latest technology and strengthening personnel education to ensure the safety of the crew. In order to restore the public's trust and protect future security, the military and the public are working together to achieve this goal. In addition, memorial services and memorial activities for the fallen crew members are being held frequently, and it is vowed that their brave dedication will be remembered forever. Their families, friends, and colleagues are supporting each other in their grief and reaffirming their determination to continue to serve the country with their will in mind. The pain brought about by the tragedy of the accident is immeasurable, but strong bonds and new hopes are being born from it. This accident has once again taught us the preciousness of life, the weight of responsibility, and the importance of what we must protect. South Korea will take this lesson to heart and continue to move forward toward building a safer and more resilient defense system. Their courage and dedication serve as a beacon to future defenders and will never be forgotten. This tragic crash of the P-3C Orion aircraft has raised serious questions about the safety culture of the ROK Navy. The precious lives of the crew members who lost their lives made many people keenly aware of the weight of life and the importance of the defense system. After the accident, the military has urgently needed to thoroughly promote safety awareness and review its organizational culture, and is working to build a strong safety management system to prevent recurrence. This accident has prompted the ROK Navy to begin a full review of its training methods and operational processes. In particular, new safety measures are being sought to minimize the risk of human error in the operation of the P-3C, which requires complex and highly advanced technology. For example, a multifaceted approach is being taken, including the enhancement of simulation training, the introduction of the latest monitoring system, and the strengthening of team communication. This accident also reminded the public of the importance of safety culture. Many people have once again realized how much care and preparation is required for the daily difficult tasks of military personnel who are responsible for the lives of others. Awareness-raising activities aimed at raising safety awareness are also being actively carried out in the media and educational institutions, and the value of safety first is being shared throughout society. Furthermore, as a follow-up after the accident, support for the victims' families and psychological care are also important issues. Specialized counseling and support programs are provided to families facing deep grief and a sense of loss, and psychological care is being provided. This will help to mitigate the impact of the tragedy as much as possible and to help the bereaved families move forward toward the future. Thank you for watching. Let's keep the conversation going. Hello, everyone. We're incredibly grateful that you stayed with us until the very end of this video. Your time and attention mean everything to us here at Best of Moment. Thank you for choosing to share a part of your day with us. If this video resonated with you or brought you any inspiration, please consider subscribing to our channel, Best of Moment. Hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss out on the meaningful, emotional, and thought-provoking stories we're excited to share. We're committed to bringing you moments that move the heart and spark reflection, and we'd love for you to be part of this journey. Now we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on today's topic? Have you had a similar experience or perhaps a different perspective? Drop your comments below. Your voice matters deeply to us. This channel isn't just about videos. It's about creating a vibrant community where we can all connect, learn, and grow together. Feel free to jump into the conversation, ask questions, share your insights, or even engage in friendly debates. We read every single comment and truly look forward to connecting with each of you. Thank you once again for your support and for being here with us. Stay tuned for more unforgettable moments right here on Best of Moment. Take care and see you in the next video.